Okay, so let's continue with this effect. So now that we animated the ball to follow the position of the character here, let's start making it grow inside his body. So let's go to the touch position, which is actually here, and start animating this scale. And I think I'm gonna start animating from this frame. Let's just I'll click on the scale to set a keyframe there and go to the, I think that's 23. Let's go to frame frame 33, which is the last frame of movement we have here, and scale the, actually let's use the uniform scale. Let's just add a keyframe there and delete this keyframe, go to 23, add another keyframe, now modify that there, scale it till it covers the complete character. But we're having a problem here. We're going to use this radius right here because the frequency is connected to that, but you're gonna plug this instead. So just copy that and paste that here, select the reference and add 2, let's say 2 to the frequency. We have frequency of 10. So the animation is done. Let's see. Yeah, it's getting big there. See how this looks. It's getting big. It's eating away his body. It's going all the head and the arms. It's eating his head, and then his all his limbs, and finally it disappears right here. You can even move this keyframe a little bit more because it's finishing a bit like 2 frames earlier. Just look at, yeah, we have it all inside. Just move it I got out, sorry. Just move the character a few frames, I mean the keyframe a few frames forward. If we right click in the attribute here, we can just select scope parameters to open the graph editor here. So let's just move this forward a few frames, not too much. 35 I think is gonna be enough. Just see, 33 is fully covered, and 32 we still have one piece. Yeah, that's gonna work fine. We have 33 is already gone. So now if we check the cookies up, we have that done. We're actually yeah, we're looking at that template, but if we see the cookie operation, we're cutting this guy very badly, and he knows it. Look at his face. So let's continue. Let me just check the final frames, see if everything's gone. Yeah, everything's gone. So now we're gonna as you can see, this operation takes a while, and even when we're not cutting the geometry right here, uh, we're getting very slow performance. So we can do this use this very nice utility in Houdini to bake this effect uh, into files, so we can just read it from disk, and this will be to very easy to play. So for that, we're gonna use our ROP output driver. Here it goes, and we connect that, and as you can see, there's no flow here. It just finished here because it throws the geometry to disk. So what are we gonna cache? We're gonna cache a range from 1 to 33, which is, and we're gonna go to our project. I have a folder for geometry caches. Let me just do another one. Geo caches 2. I'm gonna put here, I'm gonna add a folder there, and this is gonna be Tuni Geo, because that's what we're gonna put there, and this is gonna be named again Tuni Geo dot, and we're gonna add a 4 here to the frame, so we're gonna get dot frame number and 4 zeros there. So that's it. Just hit render, and this is gonna go actually not that slow. It's going fast. This is something like rendering the final images, but in this case we're rendering the geometry disk, so we don't need to calculate this cookies up all the time. So if we make changes later, we can just re-render this and work in real time. So to bring the geometry in, we're gonna use a file swap, just a file, and I always like to keep these two guys together and put them in nice nice yellow color so I know what's happening there. So the way I connect these guys, I use the output file. I copy that parameter there, and I just paste it as a relative reference here. So if I change this or re-render, this will update right away. So now if I see the file, you can see that I can just scrub here, and I'm getting the effect now in the viewport, the cookie effect of cutting the geometry, and I can scrub like real time or even faster than real time. There we go. There's no errors that I can see on the geometry. Well, this geometry right here is going to be the geometry that is disappearing. This is not the geometry we're going to use for emitting the particles. We're just going to use this to disappear the character. This is going to be, so that's what this is going to be used for. We're going to make another geometry for emitting. So let's do that right now. Let's base it all in the same sphere, because we don't want to animate that all again. So let's just make another cookie. And use the same source geometry and the same animation, and then we have the same thing again, right? But what we want is just to have like a stripe of geometry, like the leading part, and that's what we're gonna use to emit. So to do that, we're gonna use again the same sphere here. Just do another transform right here, and merge. Actually, I'm just gonna think I will cookie this, guys. I'm gonna cookie the same sphere, which we're having a sphere here, to itself. But in this guy, we're gonna scale it a little bit in 95. And again, it's scaling from the center of the world. So we need to add that expression we used before, which is center on X. That's not X, that's C. Center on X, center on Y, and center on C or Z. So now we have it inside there, and you can see it's a little bit smaller. I can make it a little bit smaller so you can see it, but I don't want it to be so small. I just want it to be, let me just put 0.9 for now. And we're making a cookie out of that, and I get another sphere. So what the hell's going on there? But what I want is to have a hollow sphere with some depth. So let's do an intersection and a minus b. So there we go, we have something inside there. We can go inside and we have a sphere there, but it has volume. So now if we use this to cookie the geometry here, you can see I subtracted a slice there, and I can make the slice as wide as I want using this this slider right here for the sphere. If I make the sphere smaller, I can grab and this looks very nice, a bigger slice, but I don't want that big of a slice. I think 0.9 is okay. 0.9, yeah, it's okay. So now, but I don't want this, I want the opposite. So let's just do here a minus b, or intersection, or no, I'm in the wrong one here. Let's just name this because sphere, cookie on the sphere, and cookie on the make a slice. That's what we're getting here. Change to be minus a, and we have that, but that's not what we wanted. So let's just try intersect, and there we go. That's what we want, where the anywhere with these spheres intersect, they cut that geometry in. If we slide this, since all this is animated, you can see that we are having that kind of effect there. And this is the geometry we're going to be using for emitting the particles right here. Right here you can see this is going like running along his body, and then his arms and his head. It's actually very nice. You can make very interesting effects. There are the eyes and it goes all the way till it just, there's nothing there anymore, or there should be nothing anymore. And let's just check that that is happening. I still have that. And I'm getting a little bit there at the end, so that's gonna stay. So let's just make the last keyframe here a bit bigger, because we're getting a little bit there of the foot, and the keyframe is right there. Just scale it a little bit more, just a bit more, so that case gets out of the sphere. Oh, those need to be a bit more. I don't want to scale it a lot because the transition may be too abrupt, so I can still see a little bit there, and there we go, that's gone. And since this is all connected, correctly, we are getting the effect right in the all the places that we want. But since we modify this, we need to cook this again or render that again. So that's not a problem. We can do that very easily. Okay, so this is also gonna be cooked. So let me just copy this to these two nodes and plug that in. And to know what am I doing here, let's just add a null and name this, and I'll always use out, and this is gonna be Tony Geo. And why do I use all caps? And I use something like purple or green. Purple is okay for connections or outputs or inputs. And I'm gonna use another null here, and I'm gonna tell you in a little bit why I use caps. And this is gonna be out main particles, because this is gonna be the geometry that it's gonna be emitting the particles. Also color this. So why am I naming this all caps? Because Houdini likes caps, and when I do another object merge and I'm looking for my objects, you can see that. Just close all this. If I go to the Tony Geo, you can see that all the ones that are names in caps are at the top. So I can, if I had something like this guy right here that has a lot of connections, you can find the ones with the that you're gonna hook in the top right there. So that's why I'm naming it caps. So I also like to have a null, because I can modify it from here up, and there's always gonna be a deresolved node. I'm not gonna be reselecting the output there. So okay, this is gonna cook now. I'm gonna cook this one, and I'm gonna rename this one because this is not correct. And I'm gonna go up and create a main particles geo folder, and I named them geo because we're gonna have a main particles cache, main particles geo, and accept that. And it says that it can't find any geometry because right now we have not rendered this, so there's an error there. So let's just render this one, and you can see it goes really fast. It's not that hard to just render that. And what we're gonna do next is just pass this geometry to the pops world, which is just the particle operators, and start emitting particles from there. So let me just let that render, and you can see that this goes very fast now. You can see that how that goes through the body. That's how the particles are gonna emit. Let me just check if I put that in the right place, because I want that to be inside. Yeah, I think it's okay. Let me just render this also, and this is also gonna be very fast. So now we're gonna use this geometry which is gonna be the actual geometry that is gonna be shown in the render, and this geometry is gonna be used for the particles. So this is not gonna be shown in the render, so we're gonna leave the display flag here. So when we render, we're gonna render this plus the other particles that we're gonna generate. So now we have this is very fully interactive now. Let's go to making some particles. And particles is a great thing in Houdini. Let me just check from the camera if everything's looking okay. And tune is hidden. There we go. There's our geometry, and it starts eating away, and it starts breaking, and it starts disappearing. So the only thing we need now is to add the particles here, because the geometry part is done and it looks good. Yeah, it looks good. So now we're gonna this is gonna be the geometry, and we're not gonna add the particles inside there. We're gonna make another geometry for the particles, because we need to have this all organized and have different sections for each thing. So go to here and create another geometry node and name this main particles. Inside here is gonna be the particles that we're gonna create. Sorry. So right now we have a file tab that we don't want. We are gonna import the result of the slice that we cut. So let's go to tuning, and there we go. We have that at the top, as I said. Select the main particles. Export the relative path if you want. It's not that important right here, but it's good to have relative paths. So there we go. We have that, and here, and you can see if we go to this place here, we have two geometries now. We have that one and we have that one in two separate nodes, and that's what we want. But this is not going to be rendered. This is going to be used as emitters, as I said. And the other thing we are gonna be looking here is that the emitters get some error when this goes to error here, and you're gonna see what that does when we start emitting particles, and how we're gonna fix that. And it's actually very easy, but may drive some people crazy sometimes. So okay, this is the slices, and well, we can see kind of his brains there. So go to this is gonna be the let's just name this source slice for particles. Yes, to emit the particles, we're gonna need a pop network. So just type pop and select the network there. The network gets a lot of inputs, but we're gonna use just the first one. So right now we have nothing inside because we haven't just put a container net inside. So we need to go inside the pop net world, and this is where the particles get born. So to start getting particles into the world, we need a source pop, and the source pop is gonna find where do you want me to emit the particles from, and we're gonna tell use first the source, use the first content. So it's using the first input here. You can see we have second, third, whatever. So if we click play now, we already are having some particles there. Let me just put the render camera there, and if you can see we hit play, we already are having particles, and particles are just emitting right now based on the points, and we're actually gonna use surfaces for this effect, and we're later also gonna fix this stream that it gets a lot of particles here and almost no particles here. But as you can see, this is very fast. We don't have to be waiting for the effect to not gonna waiting for the effect to cook the cookie sub. That's the cookie sub. Cooking the cookie sub. So right now, in the source is just emitting a bunch of particles that we can actually control here. If we put more particles here, like 300, we can just click play, and there we have more. But they are not like we want them, not all over the place and stuff. So we're gonna fix that in the next part. But for right now, we're gonna fix this error. If you see this with any attention, or with a little bit of attention, you can see that the particles are moving. When we play, they are start moving. But as soon as this goes red, it has an error and says that this had no more geometry. And of course it had no geometry, because we're eliminating the geometry. But particles, we need you to keep moving. Don't mind there's no geometry. So how do we tell them that? Because they are moving and suddenly they stop and they're still, and that is not a good thing. Even if we add effects here, like gravity or fields, or like when they are not gonna be moving. So to fix that, let's just go back to here. We are having errors here in the files. So the file sub has this parameter that tells him what to do when there's no geometry to load, and right now is reporting an error, and that's why this has these red stripes. But we don't want him to report an error. We just want you to have no geometry, and that's it. There's no geometry. This is just a warning, and I can keep living. Do the same thing for the other one. Have no geometry, and the error goes out, and there's just only a warning now. If we will go back to the main particles now, and we hit play, you can see that we're not inside the main particles. If we are inside the main particles, they keep moving now, and that may be they may catch someone sometime. Did you say, hey, why my particles ain't moving, or where did they suddenly stop? Or you may not even notice when you were building the effect, but now they are building. They are emitting and keep moving after the geometry is gone. Okay, so that's exactly what we want. So for this part, it's gonna be all. We're gonna keep building. We're gonna focus all of our attention in all the particles in part 2 of this tutorial. But right now you know how to put this all into, make this go into Pop's world and emit particles, and you can start adding fields here, and that's what we want to do in part 2. So I hope you enjoyed this part. I hope to see you in part 2, where we're gonna put these particles to use and have them look very nice, and so we can see the final effect again if you like to see what we're heading. And that's where we're going, and we're halfway right now. So hope to see you in part 2, and this is Baramix, and thank you. Later, bye bye.